Today we are speaking with Parker Elmore from Primoris Benefit Advisors, and he's going to tell us a little more about the GASB 45 plan. Parker, what is GASB 45 and why does it matter?
GASB 45 is a statement from the Governmental Accounting Standards Board Statement number 45, and what it basically does is tries to move you from a pay-as-you-go accounting model to an accrual accounting model. So what that really means is you're currently offering medical, dental, life insurance plans for any of your municipal entities like a school, a town, a water district, whatever it may be. You offer these benefits to your retirees. You've traditionally always said, we pay $10,000 in premiums for a retiree. We'll put $10,000 through the financial statement. The issue is, what happens to that active who's currently working today? They're accruing toward those benefits. What do we do for them? Today you've done nothing. Going forward to make a more accurate financial statement, we're saying we need to be accruing for that as it's earned, not when it's received. So that's really what it's about, and eventually it makes better transparency of the financial statements, better, easier for a potential bond buyer or any consumer of the financial statement to understand the true financial health of the entity.
Okay. Well, another question I have is how many towns or schools are offering medical benefits to their retirees?
It really varies on the area. Like in the Northeast where we're located, I would say it's pretty close to 100%. Now if you go down in the South and some of your more non-union areas, it's a much lower percentage. Nationwide, it's about 92%, but again in the Northeast it's probably closer to 100%.
Huh. So this is something that will really impact the financial statement of the towns or cities.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I mean, I can tell you, for example, we work with many towns and cities, from large to small. And the issue really is one of, when you look at their financial statements, we're talking about dropping a potential liability for, say, a town of, say, 500 employees. You could very well be dropping a, 60, 70, $80 million liability on their balance sheet. So it's a significant impact. It's usually in the neighborhood of probably 2 to 3 times their payroll, annual payroll. So it's, not an insignificant item.
How do you think this impacts the bond ratings or the taxes?
Well, in the short run, as it relates to bond ratings, it should have very little impact because, S&P, Moody's, Fitch, they know this exists, and they have for a long time, so they're not going to just downgrade you because you just happen to put, $50 million on your balance sheet. That said, what they want to see is how are you dealing with it. And so the town that is actually taking action to move forward, either cut benefits, change contributions, set money aside, any of those items will be looked at more favorably than the one who basically sticks their head in the sand and just hopes it'll all go away. As it relates to taxes, that's the other side. Is if you're going to set money aside, that takes money, which therefore means taxes. Or if you don't do anything, that means future taxpayers have to pay these bills. And the concept again behind this accrual accounting is today's taxpayers recognize on the statement for today's taxpayers pay today's bills. So that, it's kind of the concept behind it.
And how are the towns reacting to this?
Fairly negatively. Towns are not a big fan of this. They would rather it go away, and they fought to keep it from happening. But that said, it depends on where you come from. In the towns that are much more collectively bargained, it's very difficult to deal with because you have to negotiate with the unions to change benefits, and that's very difficult to do. Towns that we deal with either have more proactive collective bargaining or are not collectively bargained have found it much easier to deal with either changing the benefits, putting in funding, changing the eligibility, those types of things.
And how many towns have started to set money aside for this?
In today's economy, with the economy the way it is and the recession and the like, I would say very few. I would say we're currently working with about 300 municipal entities on this type of project. Of those, less than 10 are currently funding in any meaningful context. We have many that set aside $10,000 or $20,000, but in terms of legitimately really setting money aside, it's a very small number.
Well, it sounds like this is a pretty big job. So how does your firm help towns address these issues?
Well, again, we're working with about 300 towns, municipal entities, et cetera, at this point. And of those, we walk with them through how do you go about funding this? How do you set up a trust? What are your options in terms of integrating your plan with Medicare or plan design options? How can you set this up? What can you do to change the eligibility? How can you change cost sharing? So we work with them on all of those things and how to make it fit their financial statement as best we can, how to amortize in the costs over time, and really how to work with their auditors. So we've worked with them on pretty much from A to Z to try and get this thing taken care of.
Well, Parker, thank you. You really gave us a lot of great insight on this product. And once again, if you'd like to talk with Parker Elmore, he is the president of Primoris Benefits Advisors. Thank you, Parker.
Thank you.